And hang on, everybody. There we go. It looks like it's coming through. Hold on. And Nick, you can check for me too.
I am.
There we
looking.
go. Yay. Everybody. Do you see us, Nick?
Not quite yet, but it sometimes can take. Oh, here we go. Cheryl Richardson live now. It worked.
There we go.
And I see us.
Okay, great. All right. Hi, everybody. Yay, it worked, I think. All right,
it definitely worked. I'm seeing thumbs up and hearts coming through. So.
Oh, yeah, here they are. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. This is my first time doing a split screen Facebook using Zoom, which is great. And I'm so excited to have you here with us, Nick Ortner.
Thank you for having me, Cheryl.
Yeah, Nick's a very dear friend of mine, a fellow tapper. It's always wonderful. I feel so blessed, Nick, to have somebody who understands this technology and understands energy medicine and energy psychology the way you do, because it's like we get to speak our own language, right?
We do.
Yes. So good. There's several things I want to do. Great. I'm seeing this.
Yep, I'm seeing Donna saying hi. Split screen, how cool. We know Donna.
Oh, yeah.
Like our Donna. Hey, how's Donna?
Donna.
Yeah.
Donna, we love Donna. Yes.
And then Carmen from Colorado and Saskatchewan, like all over the world coming together.
I know, isn't it great? It's so great. Diane, yes, I see Olivia. Leah Marie. I know her. She's my niece.
See, my favorite, which I haven't talked about in Facebook Live, but is when I'll be live on my page and I see either somebody from high school who I haven't talked to in 20 years start joining in, and it's always like, you got to stay focused, because now you're just like back to high school, or like a relative from Argentina or a cousin who'll just be like, hi, Nick. And it's like, okay, wait, I'm doing something. Stay focused.
Well, I bet my mom's going to be here. My mom, there's Robin. Hi, Robin. Robin works with me. My mom texted me earlier and said, honey, what time are you going to be on tonight? So sometimes, she'll pop in and go, love from Mama Zita, because I call her Mama Zita.
Yeah.
And it's always it's funny to do that. So anyway, it's wonderful to have everybody here. Thank you, coming from St. Augustine and Toronto. We love Toronto, right, Nick? We've been there many times.
We've been there many times, indeed.
Yes, and London, love London. Did I tell you I'm going to London, Nick, in December?
No, oh, wonderful.
I love London. I love London so much. Anyway, I'm so happy to have all of you here. I'm Cheryl Richardson. For those of you that may be tuned in who don't know who I am, I run a Facebook page here, obviously, that you're on, where every week I do a live coaching session. And this week I'm really excited to have Nick Ortner, who is really has really been such a powerful voice for the tapping technique, and his new book, which, because I'm on my laptop, it's going to have to be backwards, but it's called The Tapping Solution for Manifesting Your Greatest Self, is a wonderful Bible of tapping, because not only is it a wonderful book, it's very funny too, Nick. You've got quite the sense of humor. I mean, I'm glad, I know you do, but it really comes through in your writing, which is awesome.
Thank you.
And great stories, which as a writer, I always love stories and examples. I feel like people learn better that way. And one of the most powerful things that Nick added to his book is a whole bunch of tapping scripts, 21 different scenarios with the actual language that you can use to tap along, which is the thing everybody always asks about, right, Nick? Like, What do I say when I'm tapping? And as I started to, I read the book, and then as I started to go back after, I think it was last week when I was talking about your book during my Facebook Live session, I was so excited to see that the scripts are very well thought out, and the language is terrific. It's not just general, like, oh, I love myself, I hate myself, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, really well done. And as I was reading it, I thought, boy, a lot of people are going to really benefit from this. So I wanted to talk a little bit about tapping, Nick, because there's people here, I'm sure, that are new to it. And then we can talk about the book, of course, and I want us to do a tapping session together. And maybe you'll do one and I'll do one. Maybe we'll do one together. We've never done that before.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be kind of cool to alternate. Like, I was thinking, for example, like, you could do a round and I could pay attention to whatever round you do, depending on the topic. And then I would just sort of tune in intuitively and then do the next round and then tune in and do the next round.
It's like, cool? You know what it's like? It's like, what do they do? What's it called on improv? It's improv tapping, you know?
Tapping. Yes. Improv tapping, trusting our intuition, because, I mean, let's just start by talking about tapping. So you did the movie. I mean, we met, how many years ago was that now?
The movie was in 2007, so it was a decade ago.
Okay,
it
so
was
a decade ago. Yeah. You and Jess and your brother Alex decided to do the movie. And what did you call the movie? I don't even remember.
Initially it was Try It On Everything, which was based on Gary Craig's, who founded EFT, his phrase, Try It On Everything. And it was that name for about a year. And we got a lot of feedback that people thought it was like a butter spread, you know, like it was just, the branding wasn't right on it. So that's when it switched to the tapping solution. And, it goes to show that sort of mid-course correction, which I think is something that's so important in so many parts of our lives, where we get so like, oh, I did this, so this is the way it's going to have to be. Yes. You know, I mean, we changed the name of a movie that we had released. Yep. We released the movie in essence before it was fully done. You know, the color, we didn't have enough money at the time to fix the color on it, and the sound was off, and it was just like, you know what, the world needs this, and we put it out. And I think a testament to doing the tapping along the way to like overcome those fears and the anxiety that says, I can't do anything in the world until it's perfect. Right. And then getting feedback from what you're doing, what you're working on. It's the same thing we're doing today, right? Turn on Zoom, do our best with it. Right, it's working. Right. Couple false starts. Here we are. And to me, that essence of releasing those fears and anxieties is underlying everything, anything we want to create in our lives, anything we want to do. And that's where the tapping comes in so beautifully. Like, how do we create that space for ourselves?
Yeah. And those are some of the topics that you cover. I wanted to just go to so the book is 21 Days to Releasing Self-Doubt, Cultivating Inner Peace, and Creating a Life That You Love. And the different topics that you cover have to do with, as a matter of fact, I want to go to the back of the book because I like where you have the tapping scripts, the way that you spell it out, where you say, you know, here's a tapping protocol for letting go of loneliness. Here's a tapping protocol for turning toward the positive, maybe when you're really stuck in a funk, right? For accepting your truth, for positive tapping, body attunement, peace and patience. Instead of choosing panic, you choose peace, right? And you do the tapping for that, aligning with your intentions. But then, so not only do you give these topics, but then you say, for example, letting go of loneliness, this meditation will help you release feelings of loneliness that can arise even when you're surrounded by people. We know what that's like, don't we? In so doing, it will support you in opening up to more and deeper connections. So you do a great job of explaining what each one is going to be. And so much of what I think underlying the tapping work that you're doing is releasing fear and self-doubt, right?
It is. And, the way I structured the book, and this is irrespective of whether you pick up the book or not, because I think this structure is helpful for anything we want to create in our lives, right? So the book is Manifesting Your Greatest Self. Now, notice I didn't call it Manifesting Your Perfect Self, right? It's your greatest self, the greatest that you can be at any given moment. And that next step, not perfection. But in the 3-week process, I do a specific thing every week. The first week, the big theme of it is calming things down, right? Overcoming that panic, overcoming that anxiety, the fear, the things that are really bubbling. Once we get a little bit of that peace, then in the second week, we look at the things from the past. We look at the old patterns. We look at the things that maybe are a little uncomfortable to look at. Now, what most people, especially if you're on this page and you follow this kind of work, they tend to jump to, okay, I'm going to just dig in, right? Like I'm going to the past. And if you don't create that sense of safety and security in your body in that moment, you're not going to have that energy. It's work to go into the past, right? It takes energy. So it's like, let's take a deep breath in week 1. Let's find that inner strength. Then we can do a little bit of that digging, a little bit of that cleaning up. And then the third week, that's when we create what we want in our lives. And another mistake people make, right? They hear about manifesting or goal setting or creating positive change in their lives, and they go right to the end goal, right? They're just like, okay, I'm going to go right to thinking positive. Like, here I go. And I'm going to just be positive, be positive, be positive, and get there. And it's uncomfortable because it's too much of a stretch from the place we're at, right? If your brain's been running fear, anxiety, and overwhelm for 20 years, to jump from that to now I'm going to be the biggest dreamer on the planet and most positive person, it's too big of a leap. So how do we find that space? How do we clean up the past? And then from that place, create what we want in our lives?
Yeah, I love that in the beginning you talk about going from panic to peace, right? And I think it's true. I mean, honestly, if people just practice that for a while, right? Because what happens in the brain? I mean, you know, the amygdala gets calm, right? And it's like I always say, when people feel overwhelmed, one of the first things they do is they start scrambling to get things done, right? Let me grab my list, but you're already in an unresourceful state. So in that unresourceful state, the actions that you're going to take aren't going to be of the highest value to you. So when you put yourself into a resourceful state, which honestly, tapping is one of the fastest, most effective ways to do that. It's sort of like you can meditate for 10 minutes. I do that sometimes, right? All of a sudden, I just feel like there's too much going on, man, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just stop and I just sit down. I set an alarm and I'm quiet for 10 minutes. Or I can do tapping. And in like 2 minutes, a couple of rounds, boom. It's almost like both hemispheres of the brain become balanced. The amygdala calms down. And then from a centered, peaceful place, I can decide, okay, what's the next step for me to do here? So I love that you set it up that way. So it's funny, you know, when I think back when you and I met, when you were doing the movie, I was pretty busy at the time. And I remember when you all called, I didn't know you. We had never met before. And you wanted to interview.
Nobody knew us. So.
I know. And I remember, you know, you talked about the movie that you were doing. And at that point, I had already been exposed to tapping, had been using it for a number of years and found it incredibly powerful. And I thought, absolutely, I want to do whatever I can to support this technology. Because I just had an idea back then. I didn't really know, but I had an idea that I had experienced the power of it in my own life. And I thought, wow, this could really make a difference in people's lives. And so I guess I wonder, you know, what are your thoughts on tapping these days? Like, you know, you've been doing this a long time, like I have. You've been working in the field like I haven't. I mean, this has been your baby for a long time. And I thought it just would be interesting for us to just hear from you in terms of talking about this type of technique or therapy. I'm always reluctant to say therapy because, you know, the good news is you don't have to be a therapist to use it. But I'd be interested to know, what are your thoughts on it now? What have you noticed when you're doing tapping with people? Are there similar things that we all need to tap on? You know, you mentioned something about safety, and I know we talked about this before. Are there similar phrases or ideas that everybody watching would benefit from? And where do you think we're going with all of this? And then we can get into some tapping, because I know people really want that. But let's just chat about this thing called tapping and
and this thing that, you know, over a decade ago when I found it personally, you know, it's so funny. We tend to live in these little communities. So we think that everyone in the world knows about it. And I felt that way 10 years ago, right? It was like, wow, there's this community of tapping and all these excitement, all these people doing these things. So it must be everywhere. And it certainly had great exposure, but it wasn't everywhere. And it's still not everywhere, right? If you walk on the street, most people won't know what it is. I think it's changing every day. I think I'm always surprised by, you know, people tapping on planes or being recognized places, or the fact that it's getting there. To me, you know, if we look at its history for 30 years, because it was, you know, 1980 where Roger Callahan first discovered TFT, the tapping protocol, and then Gary Craig from there. So this has been around a long time. And you go, okay, if you've experienced it, you know how well it works. When you talk to clinicians, psychologists, and psychiatrists who really get into it, they say, this has transformed my practice. I don't know what I did before this came around. And the question was for a long time, well, why doesn't everyone do this, right? It doesn't make sense that everyone wouldn't have this in their toolbox. What's changing? What changed in my brain about 5 years ago was the acknowledgement, that recognition that we have to put focus, attention, on the research, on saying, okay, yeah, we're on the leading edge and where they're using it and we're getting great results and people around the world are using it and getting great results. But if I want to see it in a VA hospital, if I want to see it as part of a training, the research has to come. And it's really Dawson Church, who's a mutual friend of ours, has been spearheading that research. I mean, talk about a public servant, right? Who is just doing this research because he cares. We've been funding a lot of it through the Tapping Solution Foundation and through our business. We're starting to see research come in on DNA, on RNA, on cortisol. I mean, Dawson told me about a study.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us some of the research, because I think, some of the stuff that's happening is amazing.
No, it's stunning. I mean, drops in cortisol in the body in an hour, and dramatic drops. Dawson tells a story of the fact that when he first did that test, it was salivary cortisol, right? So it's like spit in a little cup. What's the cortisol level?
Right.
Do the tapping, spit again. And it was tapping, cognitive behavioral therapy, and then a control group that just sat there and did nothing, right? The tapping group dropped so dramatically in their cortisol levels that the lab took months to get the results back because they kept rerunning it. They said, this doesn't make sense that in 1 hour, they just had never seen those results, that it would drop in an hour.
Yeah, and let me just say, so we make sure everybody knows that cortisol is the stress hormone, right? It's that feeling you get in your body when you're anxious, when you're having panic, when you're just busy. High levels of cortisol affect the immune system, tells the body to hold on to fat. It's why a lot of people can't lose weight, because they're just running on cortisol all the time, right?
Yeah.
High levels of cortisol also it makes you dumb, actually, right?
Yeah.
Because what happens?
Literally,
The body goes into fight or flight. I mean, I'm being kind of funny, but it's true.
No, it's true.
The body goes into fight or flight, and all of a sudden, all of the resources, your blood, everything goes to the extremity so that you can run or you can protect yourself. And we don't think intelligently. This is why when we look at systems like a political system or a country, when people are kept in a state of fear, they're not as intelligent as when they're at peace.
Yeah.
It goes exactly back to what you said, Nick, about starting your book with, let's get you into a resourceful, peaceful place where you have access to your intelligence instead of having high levels of cortisol in the body that are just making you make rash, quick decisions in an effort to feel safe or contained or okay. So continue with some of the research.
Yeah. And with that cortisol, I think every aspect of our lives, everything that anyone wants to change watching this right now. So you say, I want to make more money. I want to improve my relationship, lose weight, overcome procrastination, right? We know the list. We know what we want to change in our lives. You track back a couple spaces, it comes down to that fight or flight response. It comes down to that cortisol activating, especially when we've been doing it for a while, because now we have these patterns that say, I'm a procrastinator, and we run that loop in our brain and we get mad at ourselves for procrastinating, which means we're stressed out. And, with that fight or flight response, a picture that I love to paint about it is, imagine that a tiger or a bear or some sort of animal is chasing you, right? Literally chasing you, and you're running full speed. So you are in danger. You're trying to save your life. And I come jogging up next to you and I say, hey, Cheryl, tell me about your big life dreams. Right? Or tell me, you've been wanting to improve your relationship and communicate better. What do you think you should do for that? You would look at me like I was insane. You would say, there's a tiger chasing me. I literally can't think any answers to this question, right? And if we look at our lives, when do we hear about the great ideas? It's in the shower, walking in nature. It's like, oh, I got the space, and then I knew what to do. Rarely are we in the middle of a busy Monday afternoon running around, hitting the to-do list, and then we get that aha. That's not when we have those insights, because the blood is out of our brain. Right. So we tend to think, just like you said, that the way to fix our problems is by fighting, pushing, resisting. You know what? If I have more willpower, I'm going to do better. If I beat myself up more, I'm going to yell at myself enough that eventually I'll stop procrastinating. Yeah. And that's not the case. How do we find that peace in our body? Yeah. The research is with the health. It's like cortisol lowering, DNA. I mean, Dawson is showing that our DNA is being changed by tapping, that we are turning on genes, DNA and RNA. Now he's doing a study on some other level, sub-RNA. I mean, powerful, powerful stuff showing that we're healing our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that, I remember years ago, I don't know if I'm sure you probably saw this. I remember seeing blood under a microscope
Yeah. Yeah.
before and after tapping, right?
Yeah.
Before, it's sort of chaotic. All of the blood cells are different, misshapen,
Yeah.
and they're banging into each other. And all of a sudden, you do several rounds of tapping, take another sample of blood, and suddenly they're balanced. They're, it's spacious. They're all formed and similar. So, you look at that and you go, okay, this is why I always say to people when I'm doing tapping, when they go tapping, like, what is this? You want me to tap parts of my body? I'm like, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. Just humor me. And I promise you, if this works in a few minutes, you're not going to care how crazy it looks.
That's it.
Because you're going to feel so good.
That's
and
it.
Who's going to say no to feeling good, right? So
absolutely.
So
should we give people, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, should we give people an experience? Because it's like, let's get them tapping.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Well, so do you want to start out by, can you do one for putting people, I'm going to have you do this, putting people into a resourceful state?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm just looking at some of the comments, like, I've had the highest levels of stress over the past year, so I need a mega cortisol shredder. My levels of stress has been high for the past 5 years, and I feel dumber.
Okay.
So we are acknowledging these high levels of cortisol, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's lower the cortisol in our body, and this is what's amazing about the tapping, that we can all pick one thing to work on wherever we are in the world, and we'll see what happens. So let's just close our eyes and take a deep breath in. And I want you to just tune into your body and tune into those levels of cortisol. Intuitively feel like, how high is the stress in my body? How high are these levels of cortisol? And give it a number on a scale of 0 to 10. Just in this moment. And then as you tune into your body, notice any other pain, discomfort, tension. Tapping is spectacular for pain. So if you have pain in your body right now, let's work on that. And as you tune into that cortisol level and that stress or that pain, let's see if we can identify one thing to work on. So in tapping, as often as we can, we want to get as specific as possible. You don't want to just tap on your life and everything in it, though. If you do, you'll lower cortisol. But let's just tune in and see what's one place in my life right now where I'm feeling a lot of stress or anxiety. Maybe an upcoming event, or maybe something that happened a week ago. If you're angry at something someone said or did, notice that in your body. If you're fearful of something, notice that. We're just taking a moment and picking one thing, one event and one emotion to focus on. And as our dear departed friend Louise Hay says, when we're doing the tapping, we are looking at the dirt in order to clean the house. If you want to clean a house, you have to see the dirt. Let's just take a moment to acknowledge that. So we have a number for that cortisol. We have a number. Let's get a number for that anxiety or that stress, that specific event, that issue. And hold it in mind and just gently open your eyes. And let's do some tapping. So I'm going to do general tapping. Cheryl, you want to be my echo in the beginning of it?
Sure, I will. And let's just let people know, because I always get these questions. Tapping's very forgiving. You don't have to tap in an exact perfect spot. You can sometimes I use both hands. You can just use one hand or the other. Either side of the body, doesn't matter. Okay,
Perfect.
Great.
So we start by tapping on the side of the hand. It's the karate chop point, as Cheryl said, whatever feels comfortable for you. And you're tapping gently, just being present with those thoughts and emotions and those feelings that we just brought up. Even though I have all this stress in my body.
Even though I have all this stress in my body.
I choose to relax and feel safe now.
I choose to relax and feel safe now.
We're going to do that 2 more times. Even though I'm feeling all this stress.
Even though I'm feeling all this stress.
I choose to relax and feel safe now.
I choose to relax and feel safe now.
And 1 more time, still tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I feel all this stress and anxiety in my body.
Even though I feel all this stress and anxiety in my body.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Now tapping through the points. The first point's the eyebrow point, inside of the eyebrow, right where the hair ends and it meets the nose. And again, one hand or both hands, you're just tapping gently And I want you to just take a moment to be present with your body, to be present to that feeling of stress. And just be with it now. Now we go to the side of the eye. It's not at the temple, right on the bone. Being present in your body, feeling the feelings, thinking the thoughts that you think around this stress. And now under the eye, again on the bone. As you tune into your body, you might have images, ideas, thoughts, feelings. Just be present with them. And if it's the first time tapping, you might be focused on the tapping. That's okay. You'll get it quickly, and then we'll be able to focus on the actual emotions and feelings. Just be present to them now. Now, under the nose. If you're feeling stress, anxiety, pain, overwhelm, sadness, guilt, grief, just feel it in your body now. Where is it, and what is it about? What are the thoughts that you've been thinking all day that have gotten you to this place? Think those thoughts now. See those images. Under the mouth. It's above the chin, below the lip, that little crease in there. Being present to the pain in our bodies, the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm. See that dirt and be with it. For the collarbone point, feel for the two little bones of the collarbone. Down an inch, out to each side about an inch. You can tap with all 10 fingers of both hands. Being present to these feelings in your body. If somebody said something to you, see them saying it to you. If there's an upcoming event that's stressing you out, see it happening. We're trying with the tapping to fire that amygdala, to activate that stress response in order to turn it off. And just keep tapping on the collarbone, present to that idea, the thought, the possibility that the cortisol is going down in your body. That you're giving yourself this gift of time and presence. That you're committing to letting go. Underneath the arm, 3 inches underneath the armpit, right on the bra line for women, right on the side of the body. Whatever hand side feels comfortable to you. And run that movie again. See what happened, what they did, what they said, what you did, what you said. Just be present to it. Now, right at the top of the head, at the crown, be present to the pain in your body or any other feelings. And back to the eyebrow. And just repeat after me. All the stress in my body.
All the stress in my body.
Side of the eye. It's safe to feel it.
It's safe to feel it.
Under the eye. And it's safe to let it go.
And it's safe to let it go.
Under the nose. I haven't wanted to look at this.
I haven't wanted to look at this.
Under the mouth, because it's felt so uncomfortable.
Because it's felt so uncomfortable.
Collarbone. But what if I could be present with these feelings?
But what if I could be present with these feelings?
Under the arm and let them go.
And let them go.
Top of the head. Sometimes I feel so powerless.
Sometimes I feel so powerless.
Eyebrow. But I choose to take my power back.
But I choose to take my power back.
Side of the eye. To know that I am in control.
To know that I am in control.
Under the eye. That I can release pain from my body.
That I can release pain from my body.
Under the nose. That I can heal my body.
That I can heal my body.
Under the mouth. That I can heal my relationships.
That I can heal my relationships.
Collarbone. That I can heal my life.
That I can heal my life.
Under the arm. It's safe to relax.
It's safe to relax.
Top of the head. And to feel safe in every cell in my body.
And to feel safe in every cell of my body.
Go ahead and take a deep breath in. And let it go. So just take a moment to tune back in. You might have gotten distracted by the thoughts and ideas and feelings, and that's okay. Just tune back into that original issue and check in on that number. So you had an 8 in anxiety or stress. What is it now? Go ahead and comment below. Let me know what the original number was, what the new number is, and what came up for you. All right. So as you know, Cheryl, that is a couple of rounds of the tapping process. Right. And from here, we evolve. What came up? What's next? What did we feel? What memories and ideas came up that, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that my pain was related to that. And now it's a clue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I felt it. I picked something. I was thinking, my schedule is crazy this week. And one of the things I love that you do, Nick, is it's very powerful for people to just be present with what they're feeling, right?
Mm,
That's the thing I'm always saying about tapping, is that the key to healing is accepting where you are.
yeah.
Accepting, I'm scared to give this speech. I'm procrastinating again. Like, it's all about embracing who we are with whatever it is going on, the pain or the frustration. And that's what ends up releasing. And the other thing you said was, I forgive myself. And I thought, yeah, I'm mad at myself because I filled my schedule up in a way that I know better.
Yeah.
And the minute I went, yeah, and I forgive myself, I could just feel the cortisol go straight down. It was great.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's incredible. And, in terms of being present to our emotions, I say to people, look, if you don't have a tool, whether it be tapping or meditation or a philosophy to follow, something, if you don't have something you can hold on to
Yeah.
that can help you move through those emotions, it makes sense to swallow them down, right? It's like, you know what? It's uncomfortable to feel them. I can't seem to get past it. So why don't I just swallow it? It's like, and move on. And that's what we do. What's so powerful about tapping is that people just go, oh my God, it felt safe to say that for the first time. And I'll hear it time and again. I just started tapping and started crying uncontrollably. What is that about? Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you actually gave your body the space to breathe and it let go of those feelings.
Yeah. 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 I remember one time you and I were having a private conversation and we were comparing notes about, some of the language that we use, remember?
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that you find that, if I remember this correctly, that a majority of people respond to, I'm feeling safe, like in some capacity, I feel safe now. It's safe to have these feelings. It's safe to have these beliefs, like whatever it might be. That safety was a big thing that you noticed as a common denominator for people.
Yeah, it's come up a lot in the last couple of years for me. I mean, certainly, maybe what brought it up was working with trauma and working with, the survivors of the Sandy Hook school shooting. That is my hometown. Worked with them there, and a lot of that deep trauma stuff. But then I started sort of carrying that over to other places. So it's like finances. Yeah, the feeling of safety. It's like it's there when it comes to my business and my job. I mean, if we look anywhere, right? So if you have a job, you have to feel safe to speak up. You have to feel safe to express your opinion or to share that something isn't working for you, or same thing in relationships. Like you have to be safe to go, Cheryl, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. And when we don't feel safe, that's when we clam up and we swallow it and we repress it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just had a question when you were saying that. Oh, I know. You know how you talk about when you were doing the tapping, where you invite people to just notice the thoughts you think, notice the pictures that you see, or remember the conversations that you had. What do you find when people are tapping? Is it common for people to suddenly like have a thought or a memory or something out of the blue?
Yeah, all the time. And not only is that common, it's either that or what they're focusing on that picture as they do the tapping starts like unwinding and the story opens up, right? It's like we start being angry about something and you tap sometimes for 3 minutes and all of a sudden it's like, I'm not angry. I'm just really sad about it. It's like, I just feel like I could have said something differently. They could have said something differently. And then the sadness goes to, now I don't feel that sadness and I really have an awareness of how it served me in my life, So I see in tapping happening what takes some people decades. It's like, it took me 20 years to forgive this person. Now it's happening in minutes because we are allowing our body to relax. We're turning off that part of us. I mean, why do we not forgive someone? Like anyone on this page, anyone paying, like knows, right? Like forgiveness. That's kind of like the bottom line. Forgive ourselves, forgive others. Why is it so hard? It's so hard because that fight or flight is activated both in relationships. Oh, you said something to me. And if I forgive you, I'm going to open myself up for that again. I'm going to open my heart up to the possibility of being heartbroken, being betrayed in business, so we have these things that happen to in our lives. And then we just close down and we say, never again, right? Never will I remember for me, I've worked with friends my whole life since I graduated from college. It was like, oh, I'm starting this thing. You want to work with me? And first couple of years were really rocky. And I had experiences that it would have been really easy for me to just say, that doesn't work. I'm closing down. People tell me not to work with friends. I'm locking it all down because my heart was hurt there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have a tool, if I didn't have a way to let go of that stuff and say, no, I'm going to open my heart up to that possibility, make smarter decisions, be more aware of what to do and when to. And when I look back, some of my business relationship with friends have been the most financially lucrative and exciting and fulfilling parts of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere we look, if we shut down, if we close our energy, if we say never again, if we stay angry, that's when we stay stuck in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. So I'm just looking through at some of the comments here. It looks like the tapping that you did really was incredibly helpful for people. Lots of people's numbers went down. Sometimes people's numbers go up, right, Nick?
Yeah. So certainly if we, because we're trying to stir up the pot a little bit, right? We're thinking about it. So they go, well, I wasn't thinking about this that happened 20 years ago. And now I am.
Right.
And we only did a couple rounds of tapping.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy. Just stick with it. A couple more rounds to be able to bring that down. And also to be aware of if something feels really uncomfortable, really unsafe, it's probably something not to do on your own or in this kind of environment. That's where you want to reach out to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a tapping practitioner, someone who can, help you manage that thing if it feels too big.
I hope I'm not putting you on the spot with this, but this comes up every single time I do a tapping session. People want to know, where can I find somebody who is an experienced tapper to tap with? Do you have a good resource for that? Do you have anything like that on your website?
Yeah. So on the tappingsolution.com, there's a list of practitioners there.
Great.
You can find a bunch of them. They're not personally vetted by me, but it's a directory where you can reach out, get references, see who you connect with, and it's a good place to go.
And then the other question I see, it came up here in the comments too, is that there are some people who really are so taken with this that they actually want to train to be able to do tapping with other people. Any suggestions about that? I know there's not a lot of tapping schools, right? But
yeah, I love Dawson Church's EFT Universe. Also,
great.
just email Nick at the Tapping Solution, and we'll send you links to all the different options there.
Oh, good. Okay, awesome. Yeah. That's great. I didn't know that. And let me just make a note. I want to just make a note to well, remind me. I'll get those resources from you after, Nick. I'll go in and edit the post and put the email in there. And maybe I'll even put a link to the tapping professionals, right off of your page.
Perfect.
So let's do some more tapping. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Ellen says was an 8 and now a 2, anxious about knee surgery Friday, right? So these are the places, and Andrew's also having surgery on Wednesday, and she's very nervous. Like she said, she's going to tap her way into the operating room. Like that is huge right there, right? Yes. So the surgery's happening, it's scheduled. How about we lower the cortisol in our bodies? How about we reduce all these stress hormones that are making it difficult for our body to heal pre-surgery and post-surgery?
Well, yeah. And let me just say, so my mother-in-law had a full hip replacement on Friday morning, and she's 80 years old. She's in really good shape. And that night she came home the next day. I mean, and she's an unbelievable tapper. I taught her tapping a long time ago. She loves it. She uses it all the time. So, my husband, Michael, is a vampire. He's up all night, right? So at midnight on Friday night, she texts him to say, I've got pain and I'm concerned about it. And, I'm waiting for the pain medicine to kick in. And Michael says to her, did you remember your tapping? And it turns out she starts tapping and fell right to sleep. And the next day, when I came in, one of the first things she said to me was, this tapping is unbelievable. I used it last night. And next thing I know, I was sound asleep and I slept through the rest of the night. And I thought, this is why we both always say we want everybody to be able to know how to use this. And that's why we do things like this, because it's ridiculously easy. I
know. And she had it by herself when there's no one around, no resources. It's like, okay, I remember a story with Scarlett Lewis, who lost her son in the Sandy Hook school shooting. I mean, tragedy of tragedies. And we worked together, and she got great relief in a lot of ways. She had an experience, 3 a.m, she wakes up, she's in the midst of a panic attack. And people who've had a panic attack know that there's a point of no return, right? There's a point where it's like, and she knew, she's just like, my body is shut down in panic. I have to go to the hospital. And her son, JT, was in the other room, and she thought, okay, maybe I can call the ambulance, get picked up, go to the hospital and come back before he wakes up, right? It's like just insanity. This poor woman.
Yeah.
She found that little space to be like, let me try the tapping, right? Like, oh, before I call the ambulance, like I'm at the point of no return. Let me try it. She did the tapping. She was asleep in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
that's great. Yep.
Those are the moments. It's like, it's free. It's available to
Right.
anyone when we find ourselves in those places. Like that is what can change the world.
Yeah. So I know that we just did the tapping on, sort of lowering cortisol. There's a part of me that feels like it would be good to do a tapping session on anxiety specifically. I mean, I know that they're both the same thing, but I'm looking here and I see there's a lot of people with, like you said, anxiety about surgery, anxiety about past traumas, and of course, just the state of the world. Every time I turn around, people are saying to me, I'm afraid to look at the news, which is good. I say, don't look at the news, actually. That's good self-care.
Yeah.
I never know what's going to happen next. Are we going to bomb North Korea? Is there going to be another hurricane? Are the people in Puerto Rico okay? Are the animals, there's just so much going on for people that I'm wondering if we can really get on tape here.
Yeah.
A good solid anxiety tapping, and I'm going to let you do that. We'll save you and I towards the end.
Okay, cool.
Something fun, but what do you think about that idea?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely.
Right,
yep.
Great. All right, everybody. Here we go.
Let's do some anxiety tapping. All right, let's close our eyes again and take a deep breath. And just tune into that idea of anxiety. Right? What does that mean to you? What do you feel anxiety or fear about? And where is it in your body? All the things that Cheryl listed, and just pick one thing where you're just like, oh, I have all this anxiety about X. Feel it in your body. Be present to that dirt, that anxiety that is running 24/7. Give it a number of intensity and a scale of 0 to 10. And you can gently open your eyes and tap with me. So even though I'm holding on to all this anxiety in my body,
even though I'm holding on to all this anxiety in my body,
and part of me is scared to let it go,
and part of me is scared to let it go,
I've got to stay on high alert.
I have to stay on high alert.
Because this world demands it.
Because this world demands it.
And with all these feelings,
I
choose to relax and feel safe now.
I choose to relax and feel safe now.
Even though part of my brain and body
is
addicted to this anxiety. It knows how to do it. My brain knows how to be anxious.
My brain knows how to be anxious.
My body knows how to be anxious.
My body knows how to be anxious.
And the world knows how to be anxious. But I choose to relax and feel safe now. Even though the world around me is full of anxiety. And I'm taking a lot of that on. I choose to release this pattern from my life now. Eyebrow, the anxiety of the world. Side of the eye, the anxiety in my life. Under the eye, I know how to do anxiety. Under the nose, and so does the world. Under the mouth, and I'm locking into this energy field. Collarbone, and it's so hard to let it go. Under the arm, because everywhere I turn. Top of the head, there's a reason to be anxious. Eyebrow, and there's all these anxious people. Side of the eye, and I'm just joining them. Under the eye, where did I learn this anxiety? Under the nose, was it from my parents? Under the mouth, the people around me. Collarbone, all the things that happened to me. Under the arm, these old patterns of anxiety. Top of the head, it's safe to feel them. Eyebrow, and it's safe to let them go. Now just move to the side of the eye, and I want you to just tune in to to that energy field of anxiety. And that energy field in your body, just notice how it's been pushed onto you and under the eye. And just notice how you've been connected to this frequency of anxiety. Whatever the reason, because of your work or the news or your family or your friends or your childhood, you've been part of this energy field of anxiety. And that's okay. Under the nose. That's okay. You didn't know any better. Neither did I. Neither did Cheryl. But now we make a different choice. And just feel that in your body now. How you start to peel away from that energy field. Under the mouth. And just notice all the places in your body, in your mind, in your spirit that have been filled with anxiety. And just notice them peeling away. Disconnecting. Whatever visual you see or you create for yourself, cutting the cords, releasing the field, blowing it away. Disconnecting from anxiety as a way of being. Collarbone. And what's amazing about tapping is as you disconnect, you find other feelings flooding in, replacing them. You don't even have to create the positive feelings. It's almost like a vacuum. The anxiety releases and you feel peace in your heart, peace in your body. And if you haven't felt peace in your body in a long time, it might feel a little strange. Just allow that to be. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to feel peace in my heart? What would it feel like to relax? And then notice it happening in your body. Under the arm. As you disconnect from this energy field of anxiety, instead of worrying about Las Vegas or Puerto Rico or the hurricanes or the people in your life that are struggling, you find that anxiety peels off and it's replaced with love, with compassion, with hope. Top of the head, all the places that were filled with anxiety, filling up with hope, filling up with healing. Back to the eyebrow, being present to these feelings. And when you find that you are filled with those feelings, draw them into you and then send them out to one place in space and time, one person, one event that needs healing. Side of the eye. If Las Vegas has been on your mind, all the people who lost loved ones or who were there and are terrified and are scared, send it to one of them now. Help them find peace in their body. Send them that hope and healing. And know that just an ounce of hope and healing might be what they need to move forward. Everything doesn't have to be fixed right now all at once, but you can send an ounce of love under the eye. See it happening. Imagine it. Make it up. Whatever you believe, real or not real, do it now. Connect to that deepest part of you, that spirit, that joy, that hope, and send it to someone in need. Under the nose. Keep on sending it. Keep on being present to these feelings. And notice that the more you do this, the more you peel off of that energy field of anxiety. The more you move into a different frequency. Under the mouth. A frequency that says all is well. Feel that in your body. Encode that in every cell of your body. All is well. Collarbone. Ground your body in space and time and know that you can come back to these feelings at any time. that you can help your body heal, that you can help the world heal. You can gently stop tapping. And just be with yourself for a moment. If you started out anxious, check in on that number. My guess is that it's hard to even think of that anxiety, that you've moved into another space. If there's still some anxiety left, that's okay. We just did a few minutes of tapping. You can go back and play this at any time, do it again and again, and move into that frequency of hope, of healing, of love.
Oh, I feel so much better. And I was feeling good to start.
I know, right? But isn't it like,
yeah,
we just disconnect? It's like we all moved collectively together. You know, the people that are on now and the people who are going to watch later, we just moved into a different space.
Yep.
You know, Annie says addiction to anxiety. That is huge. It has become my norm. So Annie recognizes that, like, this is what she's doing, right? That she's been doing it a long time, and the body goes back to that default. You know?
Yeah.
Roberta's never done this before and said thank you. So that's amazing. Annie said it stopped the noise. Debbie has a stillness within. So
yeah, this is great. You know, so instead of you and I think I'm going to invite you to do a separate session with me. We're going to call it improv tapping.
Let's do it. Yeah, well, I'll come back.
We'll do a separate. We'll do a separate. I wanted to ask you, the audio of this book. What's the deal with the tapping scripts? Do you do those on the audio? I
do. So I do a version of them because when I started recording them, I couldn't, the audiobook, as people know, you read the whole book, right? Yeah. You've done it many times before. When I went to do the tapping, I couldn't just read it because it was like I moved into a different space where I had different words to say at that time. Yeah. So they loosely follow the scripts. They're on the same topics, but I just sort of went and did what I did just now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. I want to say that Joanna just says that there's another great, I do want to mention this is another great resource. In addition to tapping for surgery, there's a book called Prepare for Surgery, Heal Faster by Peggy Huddleston. My mother-in-law used that as well.
Oh, great.
And that's a great resource. I want to get that on tape here because it's a very, very powerful resource for surgery. So my assistant Robin, who's worked with me for a number of years, got the audio of your book, and she was really dealing with a difficult situation in her life. And she's even on here, and she said something about it I saw earlier that she had done. I think it was one about releasing the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said it was incredibly powerful. It was so helpful to her. And I love that you do this kind of tapping on the audio of the book. I want to mention that. I mean, I think it's great if people buy the book, then they've got the actual writing of it. And if you're auditory, if you're somebody who really actually learns better, or if you're somebody who loves Nick's voice like I do, then you might want to get the audio of the book and listen to it. And then you can go back and I'm assuming that, I wonder if they separated the book from the tapping sequences, the scripts.
Yeah, so what we did, so in the book, as you know, everything's at the back in the appendix, all the scripts, because it's easier for reference. In the audio, I had them change it because I wanted people to listen to day 3 and then have the tapping for it then.
Great. Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, great. So everybody, that's a great way for you to get more of this from Nick is to listen to the audio of the book. And people were asking also, so it's got to be available. And we know it's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Canada, Amazon in Canada. Do you know?
Amazon Canada, Amazon UK. They're both in stock right now.
Awesome.
And
yeah. So we're definitely going to do this again.
Let's do it.
And anytime, anytime the shit hits the fan, I'm calling you and saying, come on, let's do some tapping together with everybody. Because I think it's a huge difference.
I love it.
Thank you so much for doing this with me, Nick. And also thanks so much to your sister, Jess, who got me set up on
Yeah, now you're ready to go. Now you can have
now I'm
guests
ready
on.
to go.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah.
can have guests on. This is so awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm just hoping when I finish that it will automatically upload to Facebook because I haven't done that yet. So fingers
I'm sure. Well,
crossed.
I always get scared, on the phone after you finish, it says keep and then discard.
Yes.
And the two buttons are right next to each other,
I
and it's like you do this great thing and it's like keep, like please don't press the discard button.
I can't, like, there was one time recently where I swear to God I was going to hit the discard and I thought, no.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm hoping that I'll be able to figure this out. And I just want to say thank you, Nick. And again, his book is The Tapping Solution for Manifesting Your Greatest Self. I'm so glad they put your picture on the cover, you handsome man.
Well, thank you.
It's a beautiful photo. You've got such a beautiful smile. And, just thank you, Nick, for the way that you really have brought tapping to the world in the way that you do. And you've been so committed right from the very beginning. Even like you said, when you didn't have the money, you just tapped and like figured it out. And your foundation, the incredible work your foundation has done with people, struggling with trauma or survivors who are dealing with trauma. And your brother, I know, Alex, has the children's book. Yeah, the kids' book.
Do you have it?
I do, but you know what? I can't reach it.
I can reach
do
it.
you have it? Go ahead. Because this book, Nick, there we go. Gorilla Thumbs. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, it's not reversed. I meant to tell you, but
Oh, it's not reversed.
Yeah, I think it's on the phone that it's reversed. So
it's reversed to me looking at it.
Yeah.
But that's great.
So you got to get this book if you've got kids. It's just so gorgeous.
Well, and can I tell you something? I've actually also had adults get that book and use it to learn tapping.
Right? Because the points are so great with the animals.
I know. It's really terrific. So I think, just like, Louise's children's book with affirmations.
Yeah.
That's like, anytime anybody in my life has a child anywhere, they automatically get that book.
Yeah.
Well, now they're automatically going to get this book too, because like, what a great gift to give to children starting that way, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you for all you've done, you and your family, the Tapping Solution, for what you've done for people all over the world with this. And I'll call you. I'm going to get some resources from you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And if you just give me a little bit of time, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to edit the post, and I'll give you the resources for finding somebody near you that could do the tapping with you if you need that. And information, the email to use to get information on how to train to do the tapping as well.
Perfect. And make sure if you found this helpful, click the share button, because there's people we never know we're going to touch with these things. So it's like,
I'm so glad you said that, Nick. So if you have someone in your life that's struggling with anxiety, please, if you have somebody who has been a victim of a hurricane or the shooting or, anything like any kind of trauma, or somebody, like we all know somebody who's just sort of temperamentally anxious and they've really been struggling with anxiety with everything that's going on, please share this with them, because the 2 tapping sessions that Nick did is going to make all the difference in the world. It's already made a difference for so many of you here. So thank you for mentioning that, Nick. Nick Ortner, I love you.
I love you. I love you.
All right, sweetheart. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.